It's not mendacious, it's mendacious. If it refers to a person, it means dishonest, untruthful, deceptive. For example, Mr. Miller described the chief minister as mendacious. If it refers to a piece of information, a statement, an utterance, then it means false or untrue. For example, all her claims are mendacious. She is nothing but a liar. Mendacity is its noun form. It means the quality of being untruthful. For example, political leaders are often accused of mendacity. Once again, remember the stress is on the second syllable. It's not mendacity, it's mendacity. Remember, in both the cases, we have the stress on the second syllable. Mendacious, mendacity. Mendacious, mendacity. Exonerate. Notice the stress is on the second syllable. It's not exonerate, it's not exonerate, it's exonerate. It can have two meanings. In certain cases, it can mean to free someone from accusation. For example, her report exonerated him from all the accusations. It can also mean to relieve someone of one's duties and responsibilities. For example, the new discoveries do not exonerate us from pursuing further research. The noun form of exonerate is exoneration. Notice now you have the stress on the second last syllable. The syllable right before shun. Exoneration. It means the state of being freed from a charge or relieved of one's responsibilities. For example, DNA evidence led to his exoneration. Then there are people who seek exoneration from the tasks assigned to them. On the other hand, she is like a machine. She does not find her work boring. Condone. You have the stress on the second syllable. It means the second syllable would sound louder than the other one. It's not condone, it's condone. It's a verb. It means to accept and allow behavior that is highly offensive. For example, the institute cannot condone any behavior that involves ragging. Once again, condone means to accept and allow behavior that is highly offensive. It has a stress on the second syllable. Redact. It's a verb. The stress is on the second syllable. That's why it's not redact, it's redact. It means to remove sensitive information before a text is made available to the public. So basically, information is edited out. For example, the names of thieves and goons are often redacted from newspapers. I guess it's because people tend to find religion in everything nowadays. Anyhow, let's do it again. Redact. The stress is on the second syllable. It means to remove sensitive information before a text is made available to the public. Sycophant. Neither sycophant nor sycophant, but sycophant. Sycophant refers to a person who praises someone important in order to receive favors. For example, she doesn't understand the difference between sycophants and her genuine well-wishers. I guess you know a lot of sycophants. Yeah, I mean, if you work in the private sector, then you definitely know the difference between your genuine well-wishers and sycophants. Yeah. Animosity. Neither animosity nor animosity, but animosity. It means a feeling of fierce anger. For example, although she misbehaves with him, he bears no animosity towards her. Then both the players are competitive, but there is no personal animosity between them. Facilitate. The stress is on C. Facilitate. It means to make something easy or easier. For example, a teacher is supposed to facilitate the learning process. Then his intervention facilitated the successful completion of the deal. Serendipity. The stress is on the third syllable. Serendipity. It refers to finding something interesting and valuable by sheer luck, especially when you are not looking for it. For example, there is an element of serendipity in research. Then it is the element of serendipity that makes our lives worth living. Serendipity was coined by the English author Horace Walpole in the mid-1700s. He was inspired by the Persian fairy tale The Three Princes of Serendip, where the main characters made discoveries by sheer luck. Have you ever heard someone describe something in such a manner that makes it appear less serious, important? Imagine after the exam your friend said, "The questions were difficult to answer." But in your opinion, he didn't describe the situation properly. In fact, in reality, it was far worse than that. As far as you are concerned, you could not answer a single question. So for you to say that the questions were difficult is an understatement. It means a statement that explains something in such a way that it makes it appear less important, serious, bad, or the act of making such statements. For example, to say that the postponement of our salary was a shock would be an understatement. It caused frustration. Humbug. The stress is on the first syllable. Humbug. It's the election season in India. So I thought maybe we could learn a word that's relevant to politics. Humbug refers to dishonest, hypocritical statements or behavior intended to deceive people. For example, he's going to win another election by his usual political humbug. Legible, not legible, legible. I know there is an I there, but you're not going to pronounce it. It's legible. There's no E sound in this word. Legible. If one is not able to understand your handwriting, then it's illegible. If one is able to understand your handwriting, then it's legible. That's it. It's pretty easy. Populace. Populace. The stress is on the first syllable. Populace. It means ordinary inhabitants of a country or place. For example, the things that are available to the rich are not often available to the general populace. The stress is on the first syllable. Populace. Clandestine. The stress is on the second syllable. Clandestine. It refers to something that's planned or done secretly because it's not officially or socially allowed. For example, the students held clandestine meetings in the canteen. Then he has been having a clandestine affair with one of his students. Clandestine. The stress is on the second syllable. Alacrity. The stress is on the second syllable. Alacrity. It means promptness and eagerness, readiness. For example, they accepted the money with alacrity. Okay, that's pretty simple. There's nothing more to explain. Austere. It's an adjective. The stress is on the first syllable. Austere. If you lead a life that's pretty simple and without comfort, then you lead an austere life. For example, she led an austere childhood. If a place if a room is austere, it means that it's pretty plain and without decoration. For example, despite being extremely wealthy, he stayed in an austere room. It can also mean severe and unfriendly in manner. For example, his father had an austere expression on his face. Okay, so that means we can use austere to mean simple and without comfort, then plain and without decoration, then severe and unfriendly in manner. So it can have three meanings. In the first example, we referred to one's life. In the second example, we referred to a place. And in the third example, we referred to one's expressions, one's behavior. Persona non grata. Persona non grata. Persona non grata. It refers to someone who is unacceptable, unwelcome. Imagine there are a few people who have a mutual dislike for you. They don't like you. They were in the middle of a discussion when you arrived, and the way they looked at you, you realized they did not really want you there. So you felt you were persona non grata. Now, this word is used in politics as well. For example, if there is a person who is unwelcome in a country because its government doesn't really want him or her there, he or she would be considered persona non grata. Okay? It's a Latin expression. Ameliorate. It means to improve a bad situation, to make things better. Remember, the stress is on the second syllable, ameliorate. For example, after the flood crisis, several villages need financial aid to ameliorate their condition. Then, a good drainage facility can ameliorate the playing conditions quickly. This one is dedicated to the cricket lovers. A third example, in order to ameliorate their poverty, her parents adopted various strategies. हमें भी बता दो, the real black hole is in my wallet. The fourth one, we need a political leader who will ameliorate inequalities. Okay, that's it. I hope you got to learn something new. Make sure you click the like button. It encourages me to upload more videos of this sort. Share it with your friends, with your near and dear ones. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed to it. Hit the bell button to receive notifications instantly. Faux pas. It refers to words, remarks or behavior that are considered impolite and, more importantly, a social mistake. For example, by the time she realized she had made a serious faux pas, she had already made a lot of objectionable remarks about her husband's family. Then, it's always important to recognize one's faux pas. Yeah. Lastly, a lot of students do not realize the fact that they make a serious faux pas when they use slangs in front of their teachers. Unprecedented. If something is unprecedented, it has never happened or existed in the past. For example, corruption has reached an unprecedented level. Such an event is unprecedented in the 21st century. Lastly, he took the unprecedented step of going public with his story. So that's it. It's pretty simple. Masquerade. It means faking and pretending in order to hide the truth. For example, she has kept up the masquerade of being an honest person since her father-in-law passed away. Then, the politicians try to keep up the masquerade of being dutiful before the elections. Lastly, an educated person must see through the masquerades on one's path. Indubitable. Remember, there is no "d" sound here. It's not indubitable, it's indubitable. Indubitable is in American English. Indubitable. It refers to something that cannot be doubted. And we can use it in phrases such as an indubitable fact, an indubitable truth. Let's have a sentence. I won't believe it until it's proved to me by an indubitable argument. Okay? Concur. It means to have the same opinion. For example, the latest research concurs with the past discoveries. Then, the members of the Board of Governors do not concur that the principal should have full control over the administration. Lastly, you are absolutely correct, concurred the doctor. In Catch Me If You Can, Leonardo DiCaprio used this word to get out of a very tricky situation. Anyhow, I hope you got to learn something new. Until next time, this is RB signing off. And yeah, one more thing before you leave, make sure you click the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet subscribed to it. I will meet you again in the next video. Take care.